Well, tonight, CBS12 News is introducing something brand new. We're calling it our 530 Focus. In the coming weeks and months ahead, our news team will use this time to focus on issues that impact our communities, our families, and our future.
We'll be looking at crime and human trafficking, the benefits and risks of artificial intelligence, teens' mental health, sea level rise, gambling, drugs, hate, the issues that make a difference to our quality of life here in the Palm Beaches, Okeechobee, and along the Treasure Coast. Tonight, our subject is politics. And before a single primary or caucus is held for next year's presidential election, we're going to take a look at a controversial topic that doesn't seem to want to go away. What if President Joe Biden isn't the Democratic Party nominee?
Of course, this is fun for Republicans eager to bash the president's policies, age, and electability. Donald Trump told Fox News on Tuesday night he didn't expect Mr. Biden to be on the ticket.
But as I-Team Chief Investigator Mike Magnoli reports, the idea of a party candidate other than Joe Biden isn't as far-fetched as it sounds, and the Democrats have tried something like this before. Mike?
Good evening, everybody. What we have here is an I-Team investigation into political history and whether it could repeat itself.
That would be an interesting convention. I think ratings would go up.
Dr. Robert Taylor is a historian and dean at Florida Tech. He says modern viewers are used to political conventions being little more than pep rallies for the party nominee. But in 1980, Taylor tells me the Democrats' convention in New York City was a slugfest. Massachusetts Senator Ted Kennedy was plotting to steal the nomination from President Jimmy Carter, who was running for re-election. The two had been in a heated primary race, and Kennedy was looking for a Hail Mary on the convention floor.
No more high inflation and no more Jimmy Carter.
A candidate can try to lure delegates away from their voting commitments to their respective states, and enough rogue delegates could tip the scale.
Moral delegates are, I think, required to vote for the person that they're there to represent at least once. If I'm let's say a Carter delegate, I voted for Carter once. But after that, you could be persuaded to look elsewhere.
Kennedy failed to convince enough delegates to change sides. A few months later, President Carter was unseated by former actor and California Governor Ronald Reagan.
And we fought for and we have achieved some very important goals for our country.
Officially, President Biden only has one primary challenger. That's Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips. He entered the race in October. Now, Biden's running mate, Vice President Harris, though just a few heartbeats away from the presidency, as they say, is not considered a serious contender on her own.
I think they're being lied to.
But fresh off his energetic debate with Ron DeSantis, the current governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is riding a wave of popularity.
We like to look at state governors as potential presidents.
And I'll be honest with you, I think there's probably one person I wouldn't listen to on this topic more than the guy that I'm standing next to, Ron DeSantis.
Peter, do you think the leaders in the Democrat Party want Gavin Newsom on the ticket?
In their heart of hearts, notwithstanding what they say publicly, absolutely. Joe Biden is a disaster. The polls show it. He's way underwater.
Peter Feynman is a Florida Republican National Committee man. Now, he watched Newsom's performance, and he says it was an audition for a run. Peter, do you have a theory about the mechanism that they could use to do this swap?
They do. I do. They have, unlike the Republican Party, where the vast majority of delegates that go to the convention are bound to a particular candidate based on their state's primary election. In the Democrat Party, they have hundreds and hundreds of unbound, what they call at-large delegates. And those, then you go back to the days of cigar smoke-filled rooms where they cut deals, and those at-large delegates could very well swing the nomination process.
Should President Biden drop out of the race by choice or circumstance before the convention in August, Dr. Taylor says things could get interesting.
Of course, we're, again, uncharted waters. We're dealing with an incumbent president who's not a young man. And we'll just have to, again, literally just have to see.
Another possibility, replacing Vice President Harris. Now, that could give the Biden ticket a shot in the arm. And Taylor says he wouldn't be surprised if some party leaders might be trying to persuade President Biden to do just that.
Now, going to the president and saying, you have to have a new vice president, that wouldn't happen. But what they would say is, you know, Mr. President, we're concerned about your chances. And one of the things you might consider that just might help you is a fresh face in your administration.
Another historical reference. At the convention in 1944, Democrats told sitting Vice President Henry Wallace to take a hike, forcing FDR to put Harry Truman in his place.
Well, he was a party pick, and Franklin Roosevelt was like, okay, fine. But some historians have speculated that Roosevelt deep down knew he was very ill, and that there better be a number two who could step in.
For her part, though, Vice President Harris telling 60 Minutes recently that she and President Biden are close and she likes their chances in 2024. As for the GOP, their next presidential debate is tonight. Former President Trump will skip it again. Nikki Haley has now overtaken Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, polling in second place among GOP voters.